I lost that focus. I wasn't aware of it at the time. Got out to a first baller and followed up with a few more, including a few more first ballers. And I remember walking two occasions, once at the SCG and once at the MCG. I got out first ball and I walked off the ground and I looked back at the sight screen and the surrounds of the sight screen to see if there was something wrong. I hadn't seen the ball. I felt as I'd lost the ball. But I mean, that should have woken me up, but it didn't. So I went through the period, and then the anxiety starts to get in. You start worrying about, thinking about not getting runs and getting out and whether something's wrong. And we all do it. I started worrying about whether I was doing something wrong physically, whether it was stance, grip, initial movements, back lift, whatever. And I remember grabbing Dennis Lilly one day at the Sydney Cricket Ground. I can't remember whether it was a test match or a one-dayer, and said, "Mate, do you mind coming and having a bowl to me? You've bowled against me more than anyone else. I want you to have a look and see if there's anything you can see." And he bowled to me for an hour. And we came off and I said, "Well, what do you think?" And he said, "Mate, I can't see anything. You're playing all right. There's nothing wrong. There's certainly nothing wrong physically. You better just sort yourself out." I was still feeling pretty lost and alone, sitting down in the dressing room trying to sort of work through the problems myself when Dr. Rudy Webster walked into the dressing room. Rudy had been the manager of the West Indian team during World Series cricket. He was in Melbourne. He'd obviously been watching what had been going on. The only thing I was disappointed with him was that he waited till the end of the series against the West Indies before he told me. He came into the dressing room and he said, "Look, I know you've had a lot of advice recently and you might not, be interested in what I've got to say, but I just want to say one thing, ask you one question. Are you watching the ball?" And I blew up. I said, "Of course I'm watching the ball. What do you think I'm watching? I don't go out there to watch anything else." He said, No. He said, "I don't want you to answer it now." He said, "When you calm down and when you're feeling a bit better, just think about it. Are you really watching the ball?" And I went away back at the hotel that night and I had calmed down by that stage. And he was exactly right. I mean, what I hadn't been doing, I'd got so distracted with what was going on at my end, I couldn't watch the ball. And I was looking in that direction, and instead of my sort of screen of vision being that big as it normally was, I could see, the sight screen, people behind the sight screen who I'd never seen before. And all of a sudden the ball would appear, and generally it was halfway down by the time I got to find it. And I thought, actually, when I realised that I'd only been doing that, I knew I was playing pretty well because I'd done well to hit him, that I was only seeing him from halfway down.